Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Well, it's going to be a wild ride this morning. Probably one of the more wild rides if you're not a fan of snowflakes, because the Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory from 7 o'clock this morning, that's just 20 minutes from now, till 2 o'clock today for the Smokies. Now you say, well, that's just the Smokies. 1 to 3 inches for the Smokies. They can handle it. It's going to be mainly above 2,500 feet. That's true. But if you're one of the non-confident drivers, one of the drivers that maybe don't like to drive when it's snowing, doesn't necessarily mean it has to stick. But if it comes down at a fairly good clip, would you want to know about it? Would it be helpful to know that's the kind of weather that I'm going to be driving through? We're going to explore that. Let's take a look at the radar. We can already see it's blue in Crossville, and I'm going to be checking in with you because I want to see your comments. But this radar picture is going to be very fluid. It's going to change because our temperatures hit the expected 56 at midnight. We're not getting any higher, folks. That's it. Daytime temperature may be lucky to bounce back to 44 because we're going to dip into the 30s for a good chunk of the morning. And many of you that are in the blue areas in, say, Scott County, Morgan County, or Cumberland County are dealing with snowflakes at this hour. Maybe a little bit of a mix between Jellicoe and Wartburg where there's some peak. So there's some elements here that need to be paid attention to. And if you're driving out early this morning, if you're getting out to work or school, just know that it's going to be very, very changeable. And I want to make sure that you're aware of it. Some people are not very keen on driving when it's snowing. And if they're not paying attention to the forecast, it makes it even more challenging because they say, was this expected? No, I didn't expect this. And I think that the fact that this will reach a fever pitch between 7 and 10. 7 and 10 this morning in the heart of the valley, suddenly it could burst into some snowflakes. So if you're not ready for that, then maybe just stay home. Stay put is what I'm looking for. Maybe you just want to stay put for a couple hours longer until you can get this thing to pass. But this will be headed to the Smokies, and that's where it will drop, likely 1 to 3 inches of snow. Got some comments coming in. Kelly Hart says hello. She says good morning on this nice and snowy day. Oh, it's something Team Snow can rejoice. It's always nice to get some flakes, even if it's not going to amount to much other than grassy surfaces in the valley. Most of it, again, is going to have a hard time changing in Knoxville because we'll be right on the edge. And it was so warm yesterday. Yesterday we hit 71 degrees, which was expected, but I digress. We'll focus here on the snow right now. But cold morning, says Fred. Fred's got 44 degrees in Maryville now. He's in Blount County. And where Kelly is, she says it's snowing like crazy. I got to know where you are, Kelly. Let me know where you are because we'd love to know if you're getting the snow. Again, the coloring doesn't always verify. It always helps to have a snow spotter or somebody, a weather spotter below to tell us what they're seeing. Okay, this is the radar. We'll try and come back to this toward the end because it's going to look very different when we revisit it. But this is what it's looked like over the last 8 hours. Most of it, again, has just been rain. But all of a sudden, by about 5 in the morning, it started to snow in places like Cumberland County, parts of Morgan County, Scott County. This does a very good job of showing you how this has been changing just in the last few hours and how it's going to continue to change rapidly as our temperatures continue to tumble. By the way, Marcos.com, great place to go if you're looking for some lunch plans. Maybe you want some delivery. Maybe you don't want to go out. I get that. But I think, again, most of the accumulation today anywhere in the valley should be primarily grassy surfaces, maybe a cold car rooftop. But Marco's Pizza, they could deliver Hardin Valley, Farragut. They're in Maryville, Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike, and Ebenezer Road. They give back to No Kid Hungry. They give back to East Tennessee Children's Hospital. But the magnificent pizza they call the Magnifico is less than $10. You might want a lunch item like a Pozzoli for less than $6. Very filling. And make sure you grab the dipping sauce that you prefer. It's really good. And they've got 4 different types of varieties. Temperature right now, that's key. Well, if it's sticking, it's got to be below 30 or 32, right? Probably so. But it's beginning to taper off on the west side of Cumberland County, perhaps. So it's going to be moving from west to east. I said yesterday at this time that there could be a 10-degree difference between Knoxville and Crossville at about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's a 13-degree difference. That's a big difference, I know. But when the front's coming through, this is what you get. This is how the dice, roll of the dice, this is the kind of way it is at this particular time. But it will get even colder in Knoxville. We're going to be in the upper 30s here in just a short period of time. But just want to say good morning to you. I got a note from, it looks like Toodles Blake. Do I have that right? Toodles Blake says, good morning. Will this take Sevier County out of the drought? The snowflakes? Probably not. The rain that we've had, I'm going to examine that. I think we're maybe up to half of the month's normal, and we're not even to the halfway point of the month. We had a lot of deficits in October and in November, so we'll see what happens there. Kelly is noting, she's in Cumberland County, she had to cancel my appointment in Knoxville today. Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's, again, obviously it's going to snow, and maybe snow hard or crazy, but by the time you get to midday or 1 o'clock and I ask you how much do you still have, they'll say, not much. It's very low. But it came down hard. I said that in the video last night. I said people are going to have that response because the snow will come down fairly steady at times. It'll come down strong at times. But in the end, many of us get maybe a ½ inch to an inch in spots in the colder areas of maybe Scott County, Campbell County, in the grassy surfaces, primarily because of the temperature obviously getting colder, but the moisture is trying to exit stage right. It's trying to get to the east toward the Smokies. Temperature right now in Newport's 49. It's 48 in Morristown. It's 37 in Jacksboro. It's 646. A little bit of fog, perhaps low clouds, and certainly some poor visibility maybe in the gray areas, but the winds have picked up. Naturally, they're picking up, and so with the temperature dropping, the winds have increased, and the wind gusts you can see are clocking in at 23. So if you got crazy snow and 23-mile-an-hour gusts, Kelly, in Crossville, imagine what kind of drive, white-knuckle drive, is it going to be for some going into work or school this morning. Wind chills have dropped. The feels like, what is it, 43 in Knoxville? But it feels like 36? That's correct. You mean it's actually 43, but it feels, because that's all that matters, right? It feels like 36 if you're pumping gas, if you have to fill your tank, and it feels like 21, 23 in Crossville, Jamestown, respectively. So very cold air going to be moving in, and this will help you see the big picture. Here's what's happening, right? There's no precipitation in Nashville, so that means it's ending. Yes, it's ending, but it's about to start in Knoxville. So that's why I said between 7 and 10, and 7 is just 13 minutes away. I mean, you're going to start seeing crazy things, reports all over social media. Oh, I didn't know this was going to be a problem. It isn't a problem if you are accustomed to driving in snow. If falling snow is your concern, as my premium members know, I was notifying them at 12:02 this morning. I said, be careful. If you're not confident in driving in snow, then this is what you're going to be greeted with when you start your day on Wednesday. And hence, that's what we see. That's moving across the area. Temperatures continue to fall. The chance of precipitation changing to snow grows more and more likely here in the next few hours. By the way, the radar is showing more snow across the Great Lakes, more rain across interior sections of Pennsylvania, and thunderstorms are moving across the Carolinas and down toward Florida, where they might get severe weather along the Outer Banks. Here's the rainfall update. I did go through the 6 a.m. hour. That's this hour, right? I'm going to come back on camera a second. Hopefully you can see that. It says 2.21. Yeah, you can see that. Okay. Yesterday's high, 71. Nailed it. Nobody else was going 70 or 71. They were all in the mid-60s. Ah, that's okay. Oak Ridge was 65. Knoxville was 71. And Newport was 73. Who knew? Yours did. Yours truly. 1.26 fell yesterday. 0.13 inches fell this morning as of 6 a.m. That brings us to a grand total of 2.21. And that also puts us, as we look at the numbers here, that puts us about halfway, almost halfway to the normal. Normal's 5 inches. December is typically the second soggiest month of the year. Where are you getting that? I'm looking at the green numbers. The green is normal from 1991 to 2020. July would top the list with 5.25. So we average, with all the summer thunderstorms and gully washers, we typically see 5.25 inches of rain, but the actual rainfall numbers are found in the white arrows. So hopefully that gives you some context. And I know we had the third driest October, so it'd be hard to get out of a drought situation overnight or from one event. Clearly, if you get a Helene type of hurricane, remnants, or a tropical storm, that could bust a drought. But we're chipping away at it. There's no question about that. Look at this. This is an amazing map. You just kind of mesmerized. How could it be 62 in Charlotte and 36 in Nashville? It just is, my friend. Clearly, you don't have to be a meteorology major to know where the front is. You can see it. You can see, well, it's 52 in Johnson City, but it's 43 in Chattanooga. There's probably a front in there. It's probably in there. It's in there somewhere, and I know it's getting colder where perhaps you are. Diane Ladyhawk says, good morning. Hope you have a very nice day. Go Vols. Oh, no, excuse me, that's Danny. Diane Ladyhawk says, pretty cold in East Maryville. Stay rain, please. Temps are currently 50, but really feels like 40. Yeah, it's going to change in a big way, Diane. Keep an eye on that. But best chance is going to be north of Interstate 40. Best chance will be north of Interstate 40 and west toward the Plateau and the Smokies. Got a note from Danny saying, go Vols, have a very nice day. Stay warm, my friend, as it will be dropping down to about 27 here in town first thing tomorrow morning. It is 6:50. I got to keep moving because there's so much more to talk about. My goodness, let's show you another view of the clouds and radar. It would seem that, well, if there's some moisture in the cold air, it's going to phase for a little bit. And I think that time is between 7 and 10. You telling me in like 10 minutes, more of you will see snow than seeing right now? True. Yeah, because it's sliding in, right? It's moving in. So between 7 and 10, if you got to be somewhere at 9:30, let's say, well, you better be comfortable driving in some flakes for some of you because it's going to come down at a fairly good clip. Now, some may be mixing. Now, today's high has already been achieved. We hit the 56 that I expected. Daytime high 44. But what's more valuable on a day like this, an upside down day, it's the Valley Planner. And do you know that you get not one day now, you get 2 days. You get 48 hours of hour-by-hour planners, which are fantastically helpful when you have an upside down day like today. When a front comes in at the midnight hour, you can see temperatures look like they're going to dip all the way to 37 at 10 or 11. And you'll think, oh, the day is lost. But then the precipitation stops before midday in most cases, and the sun pops out, and we get back to 44. So I don't know, is the high 44 or was it 56? I like to think it's what happens in the 24-hour period. So that's why I put the 56, and that's where we were. And we were at the 71 yesterday. So this is how to plan. Dress for the low to mid 40s. That's what I expect. Normal high is 52. This will go down on the weather books as an above average day because we had 56 at midnight. And the average high is 52. So keep that in mind, even though most of the day is going to be chilly. Sunrise and sunset time is on your screen, 7:36. It goes down now at 5:23, excuse me. And there's going to be a bag of raindrops to snowflakes, and it just turns sharply colder. Now, as far as the bus stop, yeah, it's going to be changeable too. School bus drivers are going to have to make sure that they're aware that in some counties it's going to be slow going. Just simply the fact that visibility might be dropped with the snowflakes. As we heard from Kelly, she says it's snowing like crazy in Cumberland County. Temperatures could easily dip into the mid to upper 30s before they bounce back up into the low to mid 40s by 2 o'clock. So recap, midday highs, midnight highs have already passed. Our daytime highs today about 44, and then drops to flakes, which we're seeing at this particular time. And oh yes, there's that 71 degrees. It was near record heat because the record high yesterday was 73 from 1971, back when Richard Nixon was president, 53 years ago. Long time ago. We didn't hit it, but we were close, within 2 degrees. And believe it or not, tomorrow will be actually probably an orange square too, because it'll show 56. And you say, it didn't feel like 56. Well, it didn't, because you probably weren't up at midnight. That's when it will have occurred. So I won't continue to pound on that. Notice the temperatures are in the mid-60s in Myrtle Beach, but they're 28 in Indianapolis. That's headed here by tomorrow morning, about 27. But it is super cold in purple, magenta, fuchsia, whatever color you want to call it. Light pink, -2, Bismarck, North Dakota. That's the actual temperature, my friend. So there's no doubt winter is still sticking around. 6:53, I've got an 80% chance of rain on Saturday after dark. Please do not alter your Saturday plans. If you've got something going on, a flea market, somebody was asking me about all sorts of events, go on and just plan accordingly. It'll be dry. But once it gets dark from west to east, I expect a rainmaker to come in, that we'll see this come in at night, and it'll continue on and off on Sunday. So keep an eye on that, and I'll update you later today. Storm Prediction Center highlighting in dark green and yellow some of the hot spots, the thunderstorms we saw in the bigger picture of the radar. There's clearly going to be some isolated severe storms in parts of northern Florida and into South Carolina, but the hot spots in yellow from Wrightsville Beach, Wilmington, all the way up to Boston and the New Jersey or Jersey shore may find some scattered severe storms today. It's kind of the second season of severe weather, but that is what it is, but not going to affect us here. We're going to be affected by flakes for the morning drive, and that's really going to catch some of us off guard. I really hope everybody drives extra carefully today and this morning. This afternoon's drive will be fine. There won't be anything falling from the sky for the drive home. It's the drive in that's going to be rather tricky for some. No severe weather anywhere in the country Thursday. We got a sunny day, and then there's a risk for some general thunderstorms in Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, for example, on Friday, but that stays over there on Fridays. We get hazy sun and clouds. So here's the picture. Looks like a kind of a mixed bag, don't you think? For Knoxville proper, it might be a few raindrops, but it might be a few icy pellets. It could be a combination of rain and snow. That's also okay. Maybe not okay with you, but okay with me, because you can't necessarily go from a drop to a flake just like that. Some folks would say that they would like that, but there could be a slow transition in some pink areas for a little bit before it tries to exit. But look at that. That's 8 o'clock. We might hit a fever pitch for flakes in about an hour and 5 minutes from this right now. That's kind of wild, because we got the moisture, the cold air's racing in, and they could phase together around 8, 9 a.m. 8, 9 a.m. might be like the peak of the event, but it's already over in Crossville at 8 o'clock Eastern. That may be the way it plays out, because it looks like it's ending pretty abruptly to the west of I-75 at 8. By midday, virtually everybody is flake-free now. There might be some on the grass, there might be some in the Smokies, but a lot of that is beginning to exit, and this is why I say your 5 o'clock drive home today looks A-okay. You'll be like, man, that was a wild morning. Yeah. That's why it's so important to download the free Captain Accurate Weather app. You need traffic updates. My friend Pete Michaels is there to help you. He's there to serve you. All you have to do is hit the app. There's a rectangle there. Just tap it. You'll hear the most updated traffic report that he's got out on the radio. So check it out. It's on the app. It's a real convenient way to get the traffic reports locally. Sunshine is the dominant force tomorrow. Full sunshine, but highs only in the mid-40s after we start at 27. And then there's a front moving through Illinois. By Friday, expect some showers that will be coming in here, as I said, mentioned, after dark. I think it comes in after dark on Saturday, the way things are trending, at least right now. See, there's 5 o'clock. Sun's down now at 5:23. So in most cases, it might be raining in Nashville at 5:15 Eastern, but it looks like it's going to come in after dark on Saturday. So here you go. It's 6:57. We've already established the midday high, midnight high, and the daytime high 44. But raindrops to snowflakes, it's going to be colder, and we've got winds gusting 25 to 30. My daytime high keeps moving. But anyway, as I digress, temperatures fall from today. It's an upside-down day. Tonight's the big story. Or if you're traveling today, you'll see temperatures continue to get colder, but it's already in the 60s in places like Columbia, South Carolina. It's the big story tonight is 27. Skies will clear. I expect some evening clouds to maybe about 7 or 8 p.m. And then it just turns frosty cold, because overnight tonight, we're down to about 26 in Morristown, 23 in Wartburg, and 22 in Crossville. About 26 for Maynardville, Sharps Chapel, and Seymour about 26, 23 for Sevierville, 26 for Tellico Plains. Let me check in with some comments. I got Kevin Parchman Jr. on here. He says, this is my kind of weather. Go Team Snow. I've added the go, but I know he's there. He's excited, I know. But he did mention, to be fair, Kevin says there are no flakes in Oak Ridge yet. That's the operative word, yet. But he's going to keep an eye on it as we get through that 7 to 10 time frame. We're just 2 minutes away from 7 o'clock. Okay, and Wanda says it's raining in Newport, but it's getting cold. Be glad to see the snow. So glad I got your premium subscription on Facebook. Let me know what's coming later on. Will do. I will do my best. And Janet says 45 in Talbot with drizzle. Everybody stay safe and warm. It's going to be tough today because we got obviously some changeable weather going into tonight as we drop into the mid-upper 20s. Who is it? Marilyn Bell says it's 49 outside White Pine. I can't believe we're going to see snow, but it does happen. Yes, it does. So give it some time. I think the peak time is from 7 to 10, and then it's going to kind of settle over the Smokies, and that's why they might have, in some cases, up to 1 to 3 inches of snow in the Smokies. I'm going to go back to the radar here in just a moment. It is 6:59. Here's another look at tonight. A very cold night tonight. So here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. Another day in the mid-40s, at least during the day. Now that's an afternoon high. That's not an upside-down day like today. 51 on Friday, 55 on Saturday. Rain comes in at night, showers. And then you can see showers continue Sunday, and another round potentially coming in on Tuesday of this next week. So clearly this is the coldest period of time over the next couple of days because we've got a couple of mornings that will start in the upper 20s. Let me check back and go back to the radar because this may be fun. I have no idea what we're going to see. I kind of do, but let's see what happens because it's changed, I'm sure, since the time we looked at it at the top of this live stream at 6:40. But let's go back to look at the live radar here and the closest thing to live. And you can clearly see as I select my Tennessee orange. Yes, I made sure it was Tennessee orange. This is in here, right? And then you've got some snow, maybe back here, back toward Crossville. And it kind of gets a little hodgepodge here with pink, which means it's probably mixing a little bit of both, but we'll put it right in this part of the viewing area. Now, imagine if this moves in this direction in the next 30 minutes to the next hour, hour and a half. It's very likely that you're going to see a changeover. And just because the colors are green and yellow in Knoxville, that's just an average in the column of air. So that means it could be snowing in Harriman, right? It could be snowing in Clinton here in the next few minutes if it hasn't started already, where the colors finally catch up. That's just the way it goes. So we'll keep an eye on this. But again, if you're driving in these blue areas, I'm looking at Scott County, I'm looking at Morgan County. These are the areas that might want to be extra careful. Sunbright, Huntsville, probably getting some good snow now, falling down at this hour. Fairfield Glade, Crab Orchard, probably seeing some flakes, but it may be tapering off around Crossville. That's why I said it's not going to last long in the plateau. It's pretty much playing its hand right now. And clearly we also have, as we take off the lightning situation, we have the winter weather advisories that run until, what time is that? It runs until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So it will be slowest, or it'll be exiting the Smokies at the latest hour, which is 2 o'clock. I think most of this is going to go right through Knoxville between 7 and 10, and then it'll be on its merry, merry way. So that's where things are on the radar. So that's where things are. Go back to the forecast for a second. I want to just remind you, too, that if you want to watch us on YouTube, my address is youtube.com/@CaptainAccurate. It's free to subscribe to YouTube. Love to have you join us. If you want to join us on Premium, you heard Wanda Poe. She really loves the updates. If you're looking for extra information, believe me, winter's just getting started. Just getting started. And we've been off to a fast start. That was one of the foundation, well, I guess my foundation, one of the pillars in my headlines was that we were going to have to fast start in this winter. In fact, we've had now seven out of the last 10 Decembers have been warm. So for yours truly to predict on October 28th that this December could be crazy cold, well, that's a big, bold statement. And that's what was part of the foundation of my winter weather outlook. If you like more information of what's to come in January, want to know more what's going to happen through the rest of the winter, check out my 15-minute video. It is on Premium. It's just $4.99 a month to join us. You can cancel anytime. Sample us at any time. If you're a Premium member, you're the first to see my snow forecast, first to see every forecast, and we go beyond the next 7 days. We focus on 15 days. We've been looking at Christmas Eve, Christmas for weeks, and how changeable it could be around that time. And New Year's, oh my goodness. There's all sorts of things to share with you if you're on Premium. Plus you get more Facebook Lives on Sunday, which help you plan for the week ahead, and you receive fewer ads. It's just a bargain. Best bargain in East Tennessee. Why not be in the know? Since yours truly was the only one that I know of that was forecasting 71 yesterday in Knoxville, doesn't it help? You get what you pay for, right? If you want to know about snow ahead of time, check us out. I urge you to check us out on Premium. Well, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.